Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1580.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today we're going to call it Bikes Yeah, because I've got a gentleman on the phone here calling in from Brooklyn who loves motorcycles. I'm revved up and excited to share with you today my guest, Pierre Kathoefer. And we'll spell his name in a little bit because it's very, very unique. Jean-Pierre, or JP as his friends call him, is the founder of Johnny Putt's Productions. He's a 30-something German living in New York City who has an obsession with motorcycles and filmmaking. His latest creation is a short documentary titled The Distinguished Gentleman that was selected by several film festivals and is now available on Amazon. He's developed relationships with brands including Ugly Bros USA, Union Garage, and Triumph Brooklyn. He and fellow Cars Yeah guest who was on the show yesterday, Lou Barletta, recently collaborated to produce the music video Ghost Ride. You heard about that if you listened to the show yesterday. If you did, go back and listen to my talk with Lou, I should say. JP also produced the short film Big Apple Outlaw with past Cars Yeah guest and my friend Magnus Walker, who, instead of piloting his usual Porsche, drove a rare Lancia Bastarda around New York City, having fun at night as the way only Magnus can. So we'll be back in a minute to talk with JP, but first a word from our valued sponsors that make this show possible. So sit tight, buckle up, or put your helmet on and your riding gloves on because we're going to have some fun today. We'll be right back. The most damaging thing to your vehicle's interior isn't that drink your kid spilled in the back seat. It's the sun. Harsh UV rays damage your interior over time. They crack your dash, they fade the colors inside your car, and the heat makes getting into your favorite ride downright unbearable. My friends at Covercraft have the perfect solution for you. Their sunscreens are easy to use, they take seconds to install, and they protect your vehicle while parked in the harsh sun. They fold up easily and store away for those times you don't want to use your car cover. I have one for every one of my vehicles, and you should too. They come in a variety of colors and options, feature an accordion design that makes unfolding and folding them up a breeze. Want to give a gift that keeps on giving? Buy a sunscreen for your family members and your friends. They're custom made and fit almost any vehicle. Check out Covercraft.com for a huge number of styles, colors, and options that you're sure to love. And I've got a deal for you. If you use the code YEAH120, that's YEAH120 at Covercraft.com, you get 10% off your Covercraft order. Go to Covercraft.com and use the code YEAH120 at checkout, and you've got a deal. That's Covercraft.com. Use the code YEAH120 at checkout. Covercraft, they've got you covered. Get your sunscreen today. You'll thank me for it later. What do you do after running a race team for 27 years with over 100 professional wins, multiple wins at the 24-Hour of Daytona, and a win at Le Mans? Well, if you're Kevin Buckler, a racer and the racing group's team owner, you create Adobe Road Winery. Located in Petaluma, California, he and his team have created a winning combination with the Racing Series, 4 ultra-premium red wine blends that are in a class of their own. Like racing, these wines comprise of art, precision, engineering, science, and a whole lot of fun. You can choose from 4 blends titled Redline, Apex, Shift, and the 24. Today I'm going to tell you about Redline. It's a rich and complex blend delivering a taste of ripe blackberries, black cherry licorice, and a hint of toasty oak. An added very cool option is that this features the world's first interactive wine label. That's right. When you pour the wine, the 3-dimensional tachometer actually hits the red line. It's incredible. The Racing Series is a killer gift for the automotive enthusiast in your life, and I've got a deal for you. If you use the code CARSYEAH, all one word in all caps, when you go to checkout, you'll get $10 off any purchase of wines from the Racing Series. The wine ships promptly and arrives quickly right at your door. Use the code CARSYEAH at checkout for $10 off of your purchase today. There's always a seat at the table for excellence with the Racing Series. Go to adoberoadwines.com and use the code CARSYA to save $10 today. Cheers. Hey, JP, welcome to Cars Yeah. Are you buckled up, or I should say, do you have your helmet on, your riding boots on, your leathers on to have some fun today?
Yeah, I do. Hey, Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to have you here. Before we jump into things, though, I want you to tell my listeners one little thing that most people don't know about you, JP.
Oh, one thing that most people doesn't know.
Yeah.
The most thing that the most people doesn't know is that I don't have a car, actually.
All right. Well, I said at the beginning here, today we'll call it Bikes Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this passion you have for motorcycles.
Yes. So my passion is motorcycles. I moved to New York about 5 years ago. Back in Germany, I did have a car, of course. But when I moved to New York, in the city, you don't really need a car to going from A to B. Public transportation, or actually motorcycles are quicker than that. And I'm riding since I was young, and I'm a big motorcycle fan. And actually, I use the motorcycle to commute to work and also to bounce around in the city.
Obviously, you got to be a little careful driving around New York City on a motorcycle because there is some traffic there. But yeah, definitely a way to get through traffic much, much faster. And as my listeners know, I used to ride bikes, love bikes. They're so much fun. So kudos to you for pulling that off there. I would assume in the wintertime, maybe the bike gets put away for a little bit when things get a little icy and dicey.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not the person that rides like every day in the year. So I try to use it as a hobby and enjoy when I'm going for a ride.
Very cool.
But a lot of people doesn't know. You mentioned that driving in the city. Yeah, it is. It's very busy with the cars. But if you're getting out of the city, you actually have some good riding here. So like it takes about like an hour. And then you can be at the beach, or you can be actually in the woods, or you have nice roads to ride. So it's definitely possible to ride in New York City and having fun with a motorcycle.
Oh, gosh. New York State has some beautiful roads to ride on once you get out of the city. So, yeah, I'm a little bit jealous. You've got some great places to go there. Well, let's start with a success quote or a mantra, some kind of saying that has meaning for you. It might tie into your filmmaking, might tie into your bike riding. So, Jean, twist the wrist and take us for a ride.
So my quote is, it's not really a quote, but what drives me is that if you're very passionate about it and focusing to being successful, what goals you set yourself, then you usually reach it. And if you're not getting, if there will be influence around you, but if you're really focusing and combine the passion and what you want to succeed, that it's a high chance that you actually will succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It helped you set your focus and so forth. And I want you to talk more about your company. Now, I've got to ask you this. Johnny Puetz, it's JOHNNYPUETZ Productions, as if your last name isn't already hard to say. You know, you just love tripping people up here, I think, here. A bit of a rebel. Johnny Puetz Productions, first and foremost, where did the name come from? And then tell my listeners about this fun passion and career that you have.
Yes, all right. Let me go a little bit back. So my real profession is not filmmaking. So filmmaking is a hobby that I started 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. But what was it, 2 years ago, I tried to take it a little bit more on a professional level and try to push the whole topic a little bit more. And back in the days, and the topic came up that we want to produce a documentary that's going to be shown at the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival. And back in the days, I haven't really clients like where I was working for money or for other stuff. It was more a fun project, but it ended up, and I can go a little bit more in detail later on that because that's a fun story, that we got funding to produce the film. And then back in the day, I was like, now we have money. We should do it the right way. I should start a company for a reliable reason and taxes and paying the people. And that's where I started the company. And it is Johnny Puetz. I should have taken another name. You're not the first one who's saying that it's a little bit complicated. But it's the story behind that is my first name is Jean-Pierre, and it's French, and it's a very uncommon name in Germany. And my friends back in the day, they called me Pütz. So there's a famous TV chef. His name was Jean Pütz. So my friends picked that up and then decided call me Pütz. And then a couple years later, some of my friends called me Johnny, and then they put it together and called me Johnny Pütz.
Okay.
So this is where the connection is.
I see. Well, I had your buddy Lou Barletta on yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I even asked him, I said, I'm going to get a call from your friend here, Jean and Pierre. And I said, how do I pronounce his last name? And he goes, I don't even think he knows how to pronounce his last name. He said, just call him JP. That's what all of his friends call him. So yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk more about this passion you have for filmmaking. I'd love for you to share with us not only the Distinguished Gentleman title of the film you produced, but also I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about this project you did with Lou called Ghost Ride. Of course, it's all about driving one of my favorite German cars, a Porsche, of course. So take it away. How did this passion come about? And tell us a little bit about some of these projects you've done.
Yes. Okay. So I started 5 years ago when I moved to New York City. So I was very inspired by Casey Neistat, like his blogs that he had on YouTube, right? And I was in New York, and it was very cool how he did it, and I really liked it. And so I started buying me a GoPro, and then I started running around and filming stuff with my GoPro. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, I thought, okay, this is fun. I want to do that a little bit more, but I should find a niche where I can focus on, so that I'm not just like another person who is filming itself, like making breakfast. Yeah. So, and then I counted one and one together. So motorcycling and filmmaking, that's are my two passions. And I said, yeah, I should do that together. And that is how I started. So I have a YouTube channel and an Instagram account where I'm focusing on filmmaking and motorcycle content. And this is how I started. And after a couple of years, then I set myself a goal for the year and said, okay, I want to push this a little bit more and see if I can make actually money with that or can work with bigger companies together. Yeah, and then I'm also a co-host for the motorcycle community. It calls Moto Social. It's like a monthly event that happens in big cities worldwide, where people come together just to meet each other and building community. So in the founder, I bounced into him in LA, and we were talking. He said, "Hey JP, you have to come to Toronto. You have to visit me one day, so we can hang and have a good time." And I said, Toronto is a little bit far. Is there anything else going on in Toronto? He said, yeah, there's a motorcycle film festival. Maybe you can submit something, and then you can come up. And I said, this is a beautiful idea. This is great. So back in the days, then I thought about, okay, what can I do for this film festival? And a friend of mine told me, hey, there's this guy, Vincent is his name. He's the top fundraiser for DGR. And DGR is the Distinguished Gentleman. It's like a foundation where they're collecting or trying to get money for research for men's health and prostate cancer. And they have a yearly event in big cities where everybody dressed up proper and brings their motorcycles out, and they're going for a ride in big cities. And New York is one of the biggest. However, this guy, Vincent Nicolai, he's one of the top fundraisers worldwide, and he raised, I think, over $100,000 now for the foundation in 5 years. Then he was working in his garage, and out of the sudden, his garage caught fire, and he got stuck in the garage, and it exploded.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, and he lost about 50-60% of his skin. So,
oh no!
Yeah, and then what we saw back then is that the motorcycle community heard about that and helped him and his family going through this time, right? He wasn't able to work, and has insurance and money, and they started a GoFundMe and so on. And this was an ideal topic for a short documentary. So, and this is what the documentary is about. It's about Vincent and showing the beauty about the motorcycle community, like him helping fundraising $100,000 for a man's health. And when he gets a need, the people are ready behind him and help him out.
Oh, wow.
So we produced the film. We wanted to do it for free. It was a passion project, but we thought also, hey, why are we not asking people, companies, if they would like to ship in some money so we can actually get more professional people for specific tasks, like an editor or a sound person or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what we did. And luckily, DGR itself, I pitched the idea to one of the guys, and he said, this is a beautiful idea, this is great, and we love Vincent, and we would love to help. And Dot even called the number and said, don't worry about it, we help you, we take care about it. So wow. It was a very beautiful moment. But back then, like for the first question was, I didn't have a company, and I wasn't, I have no idea how that works in the US. And this is where I started the production company, so has to be able to pay the people proper in taxes and so on. Yeah. And then in parallel, I reached out to the film festival and said, hey guys, we're working on this project right now. We want to have that screened in your film festival. What do we need to do? And would you be interested? And we got so much support from Toronto and help. It was beautiful. In our calculation, for the budget, what we had is that we had Vincent also calculated a ticket to fly him out to Toronto and paying for the hotel, like for his stay, so he can watch the movie there for the first time.
Wow.
And
nice.
We told him that, and a day later he said, dude, I don't want to fly. You guys riding up to Toronto, right? Yeah. Can I ride with you? And this is actually what we did. So a few friends of us, we all hopped on the motorcycle, rode up to the festival, had a beautiful time over there with all the people. Yeah. And then Vincent watched or saw his movie or his documentary for the first time.
Let's talk for a moment a little bit about this collaboration you did with Lou. I had him on the show yesterday. We talked about his Porsche and Ghost Ride in this event. By the time this show airs that I have with you, Ghost Ride will be out so people can watch it and enjoy it. So what made you jump from motorcycles into Porsches and get involved with this crazy guy named Lou Barletta?
Lou is a great guy.
Yes.
I was, to be honest, when he reached out the first time, I was like, is it going somewhere? Is it what are we doing here? But he's a wonderful person. Like he's awesome. So he saw how everything came together. Is that Lou saw the big Apple Outlaw. So back in January we produced with Magnus Walker together a short film, like I don't know how long it is, about 3 minutes. About Magnus driving around New York City with a Lancia, and that got some traction. And Lou saw the video and said, "Wow, that's cool. I want to do something similar. Let me reach out to JP."
Yeah.
So and this is what happened. He sent me a text and said, "I love your video. What you did. Can we do something together?" So and then a few months later, we now going to release, or we released the film now, and I think it turned out pretty good. So it was from our original idea that we wanted to do more like a montage video first to like a complete music video to support the artist that Lou really likes in the video.
Yeah, I found it a great video, and it left me wanting a little more, and I didn't realize this, but he said you guys overshot, and you've got maybe another one that'll be coming out that's a follow-up to this, because it was this kind of this mysterious story about this guy and the Porsche and this woman, and I thought, okay, where are we going with this? And then it ends, and you're like, okay, wait, there's got to be more. What's the story behind this? So you guys did a great job with a teaser for us. So I'm looking forward to if you can collaborate and come up with the next series. I think it'll be fun. Now, what was it like working with Magnus, Big Apple Outlaw? Because, of course, a lot of us who know Magnus Walker as he's become that first film that he did, Urban Outlaw, kind of set the tone for who he's become, which has been incredible. But he's driving a Lancia. What's with that?
Yeah. But Magnus is it's a funny story. So I had friends staying with me from the UK, and it's a couple, and Ethan and Claudia are their names. And they usually shoot for a Triumph, like the motorcycle brand Triumph, but they wanted to experience here in New York and some other topics. And we were sitting here and saying, okay, let's do something together. What do you guys want to do? And I said, yeah, we want to do a little bit fashion, maybe like something with cars, with Porsches, or and then when they said it, I said, hold on, I think I know a guy whom I can fit. And the connection is actually my girlfriend. So my girlfriend knows Hannah, so Magnus' girlfriend.
Ah, yes.
And we briefly met a couple of times, like once on the DGR itself, or we the same restaurant. But we weren't friends, or we not really interacted with each other. But I think we had a face for each other. At least I had a face for him. Yeah. So, and I just shooted him a message. And I said, like, hey man, we are 3 people. Check out my website, my work. This is my reel. This is what we recently produced. And we were thinking if you would be interested in doing something in New York. And 2 days later, we met together and discussed in general the idea of what we want to do. And all the ideas usually they develop a little bit over time. So like the original idea that you have at the beginning is never the output. It's the same with Lou, right? Okay, I want 45 seconds, like me in a Porsche driving by night. And now he has like a music video at the end with, like you said, an option to continue the story. With Magnus was the same. We wanted to do first like a 60-second Instagram video for his page. And it ended up like a longer video with car sound and actually a composer working on that stuff and so on. But the point where I want to head to is the original idea was to do it with a Porsche, right? Like Magnus for me is this Porsche guy, and he said he called me actually for the first shoot day, like in half an hour before, and said like, hey JP, I have the idea. I might want to take a Lancia for the shoot. What do you think?
Yeah, and you're like, wait a minute, what?
What you want to do?
Yeah,
you want to change the car? And I was like, dude, it's your car. You know cars better than I. And if you think it fits good and you like the idea, I'm the last person who's saying no, we shouldn't change the car. Yeah. And he told me that also he wants to break a little bit the image from just like Porsche to more like general car to a general car guy. So that was a perfect fit. Wow. Yeah, and then a friend of him lended him the Lancia Bastarda. Yeah. And then we were bouncing through New York for 3 days to shoot this movie. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's a fascinating story, and I'll make sure I let my listeners here today know we've got links to that video on JP's show notes page. You just go to carsyeah.com and type that in. You'll find a link to that so you can watch it. You'll have some fun with it. It's great in the genre that Magnus Walker does, but I found it really fascinating when I first started watching it because I went, wait a minute, what's he doing driving that? Is this going to be like a chase, between the Italian driver and the German driver? And then all of a sudden, no, it's Magnus in the car. So I think it's pretty cool, pretty different. And of course, the project Ghost Ride with Lou Barletta, yesterday's guest, will also be out by the time the show airs. We'll put a link to that. And can we put a link to Distinguished Gentlemen as well? Is that available out there for people to enjoy?
Yes, please. So you can watch it on Amazon Prime. It's included in Amazon Prime, or you can watch it also on YouTube if you prefer that for free.
Awesome. I'll make sure I put all those links. We're going to take a short break and thank our sponsors again here. So we're going to pull up to the curb, get off the bike, maybe have a little drink. We'll be right back to talk about challenges and about JP's personal passion for motorcycles, since that's his preferred vehicle of choice. So sit tight. We'll be right back. My favorite collector car magazine is Keith Martin's Sports Car Market. I've been a subscriber for decades. Sports Car Market is the Wall Street Journal for enthusiasts and collectors. It's your monthly must-read, whether you dream of owning a collector car, maybe you have two, or maybe you've got 200. Sports Car Market has been around for 31 years, and it's filled with valuable articles, intelligent write-ups, and the latest auction sales. Go to sportscarmarket.com and subscribe today. And don't miss my weekly podcast with Keith Martin titled Buy, Sell, Hold. It's the essence of collecting. We talk to the movers and shakers in the collector car world. Here's a couple deals I have for you just for listening here on Cars Yeah. If you use the checkout code Cars Yeah, you'll receive a 50% discount on your digital subscription at Sports Car Market. That's an exclusive offer from Cars Yeah. And guess what? Here's another deal. If you'd like to get the actual magazine, use the code BSH for Buy, Sell, Hold. That's code BSH, and you'll get $10 off your annual print subscription. That's right, $10 off. Both of these are exclusive offers here at Cars Yeah for Sports Car Market Magazine. Just go to sportscarmarket.com and get your deals today. Let's take a pit stop from the conversation and talk about my charity of choice here at Cars Yeah, America's Automotive Trust. America's Automotive Trust is a group of like-minded nonprofits working together to preserve and promote car culture across the country. Together, they provide scholarships and grants to aspiring technicians and restoration artists. They provide youth education programs and bring communities together through auto-related events, car shows, and drives. One of those nonprofits is very near and dear to my heart because it's right down the road from the Cars Yeah headquarters. It's the LeMay America's Car Museum in Tacoma, Washington. One of the world's truly great automobile collections and one of those must-see bucket list destinations for car people like you and me. If you haven't seen it, I hope you make a trip soon. And if you have seen it, it's probably time to visit again. To learn more about this fantastic museum, go to www.americascarmuseum.org, and while you're there, you can donate to help them keep their engines running. That's www.americascarmuseum.org. All right, JP, we're back. I like to ask all my guests to talk about a big challenge they face in their life, and it's really more about the lesson learned through a challenging time. So take us on a little ride here. Tell us what happened to you, but more importantly, what did it teach you so you can move forward in a positive way?
One of my biggest challenges was when I moved to New York because I wasn't able to speak English.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a challenge.
I wouldn't say that's perfect, not either yet, but it's getting better.
Wow, you speak it very well.
Thank you, Mark. But back in the days, it was tough. It wasn't the business talk that was challenging. It was more like the social talk. So so when I back in the days when I moved and at work, it repeats like the vocabulary and the topics, where the people are talking about, right, in which direction the conversation goes.
Yes.
Because it's kind of the same what you do in German, what you are very used to, and you know what's going on around it. We used to go out on Thursday nights. We called that happy hour. And we went all into a bar, and then we were standing there and like in a circle, and everyone was talking, and was music, it was loud, and I had no idea what the people were talking about.
Oh yeah, that can be frustrating.
When the people were laughing, I was just laughing with them.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then but then the people actually told me, JP, we knew back in the day you didn't understand, but you were nice, so you were cool to hang with us. So that it was not a huge challenge, but you needed to work a little bit to get over with it. Like the German culture is very driven that you shouldn't do some things wrong, you should do it right,
Yes.
and then pointing with the finger. And so it takes a little bit getting out of the comfort zone and doing these grammar mistakes and not pronouncing the things right, and actually getting the experience then, and like from the people like in the US and New York, that it doesn't care that much, like,
Right.
and it takes a little bit to get used to it.
Yeah. Well, it's a very big mix of cultures and diverse people in New York City, of course. I mean, it's huge there. So that probably helped. What were some of the tools that you found helped you in learning to speak English? Did you reach out to different tools, or I've heard even people watch cartoons to learn to speak languages? What are some of the tools you use that work well for you?
So two things. What I did is I watched a social TV series like Friends, How I Met Your Mother, so that I'm more
Okay.
like social talking. Yeah. And the first thing what I did, I watched it in German with English subtitle. And then I switched to English with English subtitles. This is most likely what I still do. And this helped a lot, because there's a lot of social talking and the things that you're not picking up at work.
Yes.
And the second thing is a funny story. So then I thought, like, I should read a little bit. Like, that should help too, I heard. So I went to a bookstore in New York. Strand Books is the name, close to Union Square. I went in there and then I asked the person there, so I'm looking for a book. And she was like, what are you looking for? I was there for a book for a child, like that's easy to understand. And then she was like, how old is your kid? And I said, no, it's for me.
I'm the kid.
Yeah, and she turned red, I turned red, we laughed a little bit, and then then she gave me a wonderful book. Yeah.
I've heard that works well. I know my wife, when she was in high school, our family moved to Argentina, and so they had to learn to speak Spanish. Now, they were sent to a language school in Monterey because her father was in the military, but one of the ways she did it was to watch cartoons once she got there in Spanish, so she could pick up, because cartoons are very basic, and you can kind of get what's going on in a cartoon and what they're probably saying. They didn't have subtitles back then for her to help, but it definitely helped her get through that. So, well, very cool, very cool. Well, we're happy to have you here in the United States and sharing your talents and cultures with us as well. Let's talk a little bit about your passion that you have for motorcycles. Tell me a pivotal moment in your life when you knew that you were going to be a bike guy.
When I knew that I was a bike guy, I think I was like, how old was I? Like 7, 8 years old. It was when I'm from a very small town in Germany, and we had a lot of space and mountains, and a friend of mine, he got this very small dirt bike, like a 50cc. I'm not 100% what it was, but a 50cc, no clutch, just 3 gears, and you just go. And he got it new, and then he let me ride it, and that was the moment. That was so cool. This just moves and so quick, and the smell of the gas, and this was the moment I said, I need this in my life. This is fun.
It's fun. My parents were so nice. They bought my sister and I Honda Trail 70s when we were quite young, because we would go camping down in Mexico on the beach. And you can ride up and down the beach, and those bikes had basically a 3-speed and really no clutch. You just throttle back and hit the shifter, and that's what did it for me. I just went, oh man, this is just so cool. And as a little kid, you just felt so free, and riding a bike up and down the beach and the sand dunes. It had big fat tires, so you could ride in the sand and not crash too much. But if you did, you didn't get hurt because you just fell in the sand or the ocean in some cases. If you get a little too daring, and I found that out the hard way. You get into the surf a little bit too much, and all of a sudden there is no traction anymore. The bike it does whatever it wants. So very cool. Well, let me ask you this: what was your first really special motorcycle? What was the first real bike that you got that had great meaning for you?
Yeah, so my first real motorcycle was a WR, Yamaha WR. I think it was a 450 or 400, I'm not sure. I do like dirt riding, like challenging myself, going through stuff where you think that's not possible, and not going very high speed. I like more doing like the technical things. And this was the real first dirt bike that I had that we used to go on trips back in Germany. So I was bouncing around in my neighborhood, in my village, and we actually took it once to Italy, so into the mountains, and then we camped out there with a few friends, and then riding trails all day.
Yeah.
It was a great bike.
Those are Yamahas, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The issue was the bike has very high compression. It was kickstart only.
Yeah.
So if you loop the bike and the carburetor overflows, you need like a few kicks to get the gas out of the carburetor so it starts again. It was terrible. If you're like on a hill, like in the hill, you're already like sweating because you just crashed and then you're picking up the bike and then you're trying to find a position where you can actually kickstart the bike and you have to kick it like 10 times before it starts and then you start it right away.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was terrible. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, Yamaha's been building dirt bikes for a long, long time. That's pretty cool. Well, here's a bit of an introspective question. I'm going to get in your head a little bit here, JP, kind of be your therapist today, okay?
Yeah.
If you thought or if you could think of yourself as a motorcycle, what would JP be and why? What kind of bike would you be?
would be a BMW.
Okay. Okay, well, it kind of makes sense. German bike, yeah.
Right? It would be the first connection, like the German bike. Then I think also like a little bit the reliability to it. I still believe. I think the Yamahas and so on, they're reliable too. But I think also the BMWs as well. It's not too exciting, like the bike, like it's not like the people like, wow, what was that? But it brings you from A to B and that in a very reliable and very high quality way.
Well, yeah, of course. And that's probably why I love German cars so much. I mean, they're like, so I can see JP as a BMW. Yeah.
BMW, just a side fact, BMW GS is the most sold bike in the world.
Well, we're entering what I call the last lap here, JP. I'm going to fire off some questions, ask from some very quick twists of the wrist responses. So here we go. Would you share one of your personal habits you believe has contributed to your many successes in life?
When I set myself a goal, I do kind of everything to reach it and I don't let it go. I think it can be annoying too.
No, that's the way you get things done. I love it. It's the German way for sure. How about if I could arrange for you to have a drink or a meal with anyone in the automotive or motorcycle or film industry, living or deceased? Who would that person be?
That's a good question. I think we should have a drink the next time when I come to the West Coast.
I love that.
You show me your motorcycles and cars that you have. Let's do that.
I think that's very kind of you. Wow, I'm honored. I think you're the first person, maybe the second who said that, so I feel very honored. I'd be happy to show you around here. We'll have some fun. How about the best motorcycle advice someone's ever given you? What would that be?
The best motorcycle advice that I got is you shouldn't force anything. It's a balance act also, right? Like if you ride in dirt, it's like the environment, it's a chaos environment, but you should be very loose on the handlebars, for example. You need to do what the motorcycle wants to do, and it usually should be fine. The perfect example is sometimes you see motorcycle racer that the bike is going left and right, try to get rid of the rider.
Yeah.
And the first thing that happens when the rider flies off the motorcycle, the first thing that the motorcycle does, it's straighten up and it's going just straight.
Yeah. Dang bikes.
Right. So sometimes it's more like, try to be relaxed and calm in a situation where you would actually do the opposite.
How about a resource? Is there a go-to resource for you that you might want to share out there? Could be in motorcycles, could be in filmmaking, whatever you want to share with us today.
Yeah, so go-to for me is I'm trying to have it diverse, but I'm trying to get visiting different motorcycle schools because I think you can learn a lot, and you can, and mostly you learn in a safe environment. Yeah. So I really like the so-called Supermoto School and the American Super Camp, and we have also a dirt school here called Adventure Riding. And most of these schools, they have most likely like small motorcycles, like you just said, like a 70 or 125 and whatever. And you're trying to get a feeling for it, riding this motorcycle within its limits.
Yeah.
And I think this, if you're doing 20 miles an hour and you're in a limit with this motorcycle with traction, it doesn't hurt that much if you fall over as when you have the MB Agusta that you used to have. And getting into the edge of the limit with 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So that's my go-to, like to practice skills and improve skills, motorcycle riding in schools, most likely with smaller motorcycles.
How about a book that you've read that you might want to share? Is there one out there?
What I do a lot is YouTube. So yes. So I'm self-taught regarding filmmaking and all the knowledge that I have around it. And my source is YouTube. There I spend hours and getting lost always too. But all my knowledge that I have right now and what I can actually pull out my toolbox is from YouTube. This is my go-to source if I need to learn something new.
All right, we are up to the checkered flag here, JP. This last question could be a bit of a doozy. I'm going to buy you any cool collectible car or motorcycle today. You can pick from either one you would like. I want this to be a vehicle that's something fun, though, not a daily driver, something really enjoyable you can get out into the country and enjoy or take on a racetrack or whatever you want to do. But there are some rules to this game. Because I'm writing the check, right? So the first one is you can't sell it to fund your next film project. So if you pick an expensive car, that little trick's off the table. I want you to drive it or ride it. No garage queens allowed here. And it's the only one cool vehicle, bike or car that you can have. So choose very wisely, my friend. What's it going to be?
That will be a Suzuki DRZ 400.
Okay.
Mine sounds a little bit weird, but this is my favorite motorcycle. So it's for the people who doesn't know, it's kind of a dirt bike, but it's allowed on the street. But it's very reliable, so it doesn't need a lot of maintenance. And it can do kind of everything, but not very good.
Well, those are cool bikes. And, I'm very happy because you didn't pick something that's very expensive. Most of my guests are picking multi-million-dollar vehicles. So now they're still making those bikes new today?
They're making them still new today since 20 years, the same. Like the parts that fits 20 years and you can buy them today. It's the same part number. It's the same bike. It's a beautiful bike. It's cheap. There are tons of parts out there. So if you need anything, it's easy to get. You can fix it on your own if you're traveling somewhere where you don't have mechanics or a shop where you can repair it. You can do most of the things on its own. Like with a GS, if you have an electronic issue, it's more likely good luck.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Figure that on yourself. And I really like the bike. You can put on supermoto tires, you can take it on the track, and people are surprised how quickly you can be in the turns with a bike like that. And you can go around the world with any issue with this bike.
Very cool. Well, gee, I think you're the cheapest date I've ever had on Cars Yeah. So I should interview more bike people. They won't cost me as much money. I think that'd be great. Well, I'm happy to get you one of those bikes. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'd like to have one of those too. We go out riding in the desert and have some fun, or up here on some of the logging trails where a lot of the guys ride up here bikes, which are beautiful too, through the woods. So very nice. Suzuki DRZ 400. I think that sounds great. Well, JP, you've taken me on a great ride today. This has been really fun getting to know you better. I want to thank you for sharing your journey. Shout out to Lou for connecting us and getting us together. It's nice of him to do that. Before you ride that bike off into the sunset, could you offer us maybe one little parting piece of guidance or wisdom?
Yes. Like I said before, if you have a passion and you really want to do it, you will be successful if you not let it go. And I think, it can be annoying for yourself and maybe for others, but at the end, it will pay off.
There you go. Great words of advice. A reminder, listeners, you can keep up with JP by going to his website. It's Johnny Pootz, Puetz is the spelling, johnnypootz.com. Now you know where that nickname came from, of course. And of course, you can find him on his YouTube channel. I'll put links to all these and Instagram so you can find those on his website. I encourage you to follow this very creative young man on his journey. It's fascinating what you're doing. I think it's great. And hopefully one day we can connect. We're across the country from each other. That's a long 3,500-mile bike ride to get together. But someday we'll get together and share a beer and say Prost and have a nice time. JP, thanks for spending so much time with us today and sharing your story, your filmmaking with us. We wish you the best success in the future. Stay safe, stay healthy. Until you and I talk again, I'll see you down the road.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very, very much.
You're very welcome. If you're listening to Cars Yeah, you've probably spent some time working on your favorite ride. But how confident are you working on your finances? You may be able to rebuild a fuel injection system, but can you decipher the details of a mutual fund? If you're like me, investments, insurance, annuities, budgeting, and other financial concepts may seem a bit daunting, but what if I told you there's a book that describes these subjects and more in an easy-to-read and a very humorous way? My friend Chris Kimball, CFP, a longtime sponsor and past guest here on Cars Yeah, has written that book, and it's titled The Saga of Ike and Penny, a couple's humorous journey through the confusing world of finance. It's a fun look at things you need to know, everything from investing to effective ways to get rid of credit card debt, and it's probably the only book on finance with a VMAX on the front cover and a classic Mini Cooper on the back. The book's available at Amazon for just $10, and this book will dramatically improve the direction of your financial future. I gave copies to each of my children. All securities are through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Christopher Kimball Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp. Get your copy, The Saga of Ike and Penny, today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.